Okay, welcome to the Township Committee meeting of December 9, 2021. Adequate and electronic notice of the December 9, 2021 Township Committee meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and by posting the notice and agenda of the meeting on the bulletin board of the municipal building located at 1000 Route 10 in Whippany, and by posting notice on the Township's website, hanovertownship.com, and by emailing notice and agenda to the following newspapers: Morris County Daily Record, the Star Ledger, the Hanover Eagle, and by filing the same with the Township Clerk. All right. Mrs. Georgia, would you please take a roll call?
Committeeman Cahill?
Here.
Committeeman Francioli?
Here.
Committeeman Gallagher?
Here.
Committeeman Mahalko?
Here.
And Mayor Faramasca?
Here.
5 members in attendance.
Thank you so much. Please rise for those who can. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing, and the Deputy Mayor will lead us in prayer. And afterwards, please remain standing for a moment of silence for those who lost their lives and for those who are injured in Pearl Harbor.
Almighty God, we ask you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Hanover Township. Amen.
Amen.
We thank you. Mr. Georgia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our first order of business is the approval of the Township Committee regular meeting minutes of November 11th, 2021. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
We received a letter of resignation from full-time civilian police dispatcher Catherine Valentine, effective December 12, 2021. May I have a motion to accept her letter of resignation, please?
Motion. Second.
Okay, next on our agenda is the public hearing on ordinance number 30-2021. The proof of publication and the notice of introduction appeared in full in the November 17th issue of the Daily Record. At this time, may I have a motion to convene the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to be heard concerning ordinance number 30-2021? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Hearing none, seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Now on adoption. Be it resolved that this is an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 267-18, entitled No Stopping or Standing, under Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping, and Section 267-44, entitled Schedule 14, No Stopping or Standing, under Article 5, Schedules, both sections under Part 1, General Traffic and Parking Regulations as set forth in Chapter 267 of the Code of the Township, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, by prohibiting stopping and standing upon New Jersey State Highway Route 10. May I please have a motion on the adoption of ordinance 30-2021?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And on roll call, Committeeman Cahill?
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli?
Aye.
Committeeman Gallagher?
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko?
Yes.
And Mayor Faramasca?
Yes.
So adopted, sorry. I'll get it. Sooner or later. Okay, our next order of business is the approval of resolutions as a consent agenda. Resolutions numbers 196 through 211. Does any member of the Township Committee have a question regarding any of the resolutions?
Move they be approved as a consent agenda.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Speed rounds here, huh? Okay, next we have to pay our bills in the amount of $9,366,840.18. May I have a motion to pay our bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, we have 2 raffle applications for approval. The first is raffle application 3331, Morristown High School Project Graduation 50/50. And the second is raffle application 3332, Morristown High School Tricky Tray. Do I have a motion for approval?
Motion. Second.
And Mayor Grandmaska and the members of the Township Committee, that clears the agenda.
We all vote on that, the raffle application. Are we all unanimously supporting the raffle application?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Aye.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Giorgio. Very efficient, well done. We really enjoyed
Yeah.
how quickly you were able to get through that entire agenda. Great job.
Keep it up.
At this time, may I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, if there's a member of the public who would like to address the Township Committee, please do so by stating your name and address at the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Terry Baird, 180 Parsippany Road in the Whippany section of Hanover. Surprise.
Good evening.
I just wanted to update you in reference to the water company that had their meeting at the last, or their presentation at the last meeting. They finally did reach out to me in reference to not being notified of anything other than their bills. And apparently the woman explained to me that, and I can't even explain it, all I can say is that they have a very archaic way of handling the information that they have. And it took a while for them to actually, quote-unquote, ping me so that I actually got a text message. And I would highly recommend everybody in town to call them and have them look this up, because you have no way of knowing whether or not you're getting notified unless you actually get a notification other than the billing. The billing comes from something separate, and it's just, it's a real mess. It's not a real upgrade in their system like they had promised us last year when they came and they, had increased the rates then, and now they're increasing the rates again, 9% over just from 1 year's time. And I just don't think that we're getting the, the services that, they could possibly, I think they can do better, let me put it that way. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
No, we thank you for taking the initiative to bring this awareness of this issue to them, and hopefully, based upon the learning they've had from that experience, others in our community and those who they serve throughout their network will benefit, because it sounds like a clear opportunity for them to step up with their communications. So we thank you. Any other member of the public who's here this evening who would like to address the Township Committee, please do so by stating your name and address at the podium. Seeing none, hearing none, I'd like to get a motion to close this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. At this time, what we're going to do is invite members of our Township Committee to provide some highlights as to their areas of responsibility. We'll begin with Committeeman Mahal.
Thank you very much. On the recreation end, it's that time of the year. This weekend we have scheduled our Winter Wonderland. In the past, last year, it was a drive-through over at Beam Meadow, by Beam Meadow Pool. We have changed that. It will still be outside. It's going to be in the rec center parking lot, and it'll be a walkthrough. So there'll be lights and displays and hot chocolate all set up outside. And instead of driving your vehicle through, you're going to walk through. We're going to try a little bit different again this year. It was originally scheduled for Saturday, but it has been, due to the possible bad weather on Saturday, they pushed it to Sunday. So it'll be this Sunday from 4 to 6 o'clock at the rec center. Santa arrives at 6 o'clock to light the tree. Again, it is a free event, so everyone is welcome. Again, Sunday, 4 to 6. It's the winter time again also. Basketball has started up, our 3rd to 8th graders. The teams are getting set. We have a pep rally on January 7th, and then our games start on January 8th already. And then there's clinics for the younger kids, so if anybody's interested, they can certainly still reach out to the Rec Commission, and they'll get you guys signed up. We also had a very strong turnout for skiing this year, 2 full buses.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and it was even talking even getting to a 3rd, but they capped it at 2 this year. They had trouble actually getting buses. The original company had trouble committing to 2, so they only got 1, had to get a second company. Anyway, they got it worked out. 2 full buses are going. That begins in January. As the weather gets colder, we have a couple areas in our town to go skating. If anyone has noticed, we've put a temporary rink up over at Vets Field. Soon, very soon, it'll be filled with water, and when it does freeze, skating will be allowed there. At Vets Field, it will be for skating, figure skating and leisure skating. Central Park will be for hockey. If you want to play hockey, you'll go to Central Park. And then, if it gets cold enough for long enough, Malapartis Pond will freeze over, and then that will be designated for skating also. There will be some signs up saying when it is available, when it's cold enough. But again, there was something went out on Facebook that kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Vets Field is for, again, recreation skating. It is not hockey. Do not show up there with your hockey stick. Central Park is for hockey. That's where you're going to play your hockey. Okay? That's all I have for tonight.
Great, great. We will soon have 3 areas in our town.
Yep, 3 areas.
That will support ice skating.
Yeah.
One of which is dedicated to hockey.
Correct.
Of that, and 2 others are for recreational. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Great
yeah.
stuff.
New temporary one that Brian Ferran and his crew put out there. We'll see how it goes this year. It's out in Vets Field. There'll be lights. The lights will be turned on, similar to Central Park. Probably, I think, till 10 o'clock, those lights will be on. So it's open skate. You just show up and skate at your leisure. So.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Franciulli.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This past month has been a very trying one for all of us where the Board of Health is concerned. And I know we're all watching the latest variants of this wonderful COVID situation that we're in. Latest one on the, other than Delta right now, is the Omicron. Omicron seems to be now showing up throughout Jersey and throughout the area. We're somewhat comforted by the fact that it's not as severe in its effect, physical effect, as both a Delta or the COVID-19 was or is. But we will be discussing it further on our meeting moved to December the 22nd, which is a Wednesday. The Board of Health will be taking up that. Dr. Zabrowski will be talking to it specifically, and we'll get more information from Dr. Perez as to how that will affect us here in the community, both from the municipal side, education, etc., requirements that the state may or may not impose. As I said, we're comforted by the fact that this Omicron does not appear to be as critical in nature as Delta. So far we go. The stats for Morris County have risen a bit, but we're still one of the top counties in the state of New Jersey, if not top county in the state of New Jersey, for having the least amount of infections. So I think everybody should be comforted by that. We're certainly remaining something like 5th or 6th in the nation on the infection rate here. Want to remind us from a public works standpoint, everybody's been putting those leaves out. We've been driving through piles of them. Brian tells us that we're going to cut off on December the 15th. So if you Want to oil up that leaf blower, get it all out there before the 15th so we can get it done before the first snow flies. Once the snow flies, picking up leaves is going to be a very difficult proposition. Very excited to tell you that the library, which has been consistent through 2021 and COVID with its programs and activities for the public, is now looking at a reconfiguration. I'll have more news of that in the future, but the reconfiguration is underway. They're looking at some ways of maximizing the space that they do have. They're looking at potentially better lighting systems in there, etc. That will be being taken a look at right now by a consulting firm, and we'll have more information on that in the future. We're excited about what's going on in the library, and I always remind everybody on any of our areas here to go on the www.hanovertownship.com site. Everything that you do need is there for you to see, and I highly recommend you use that. Stony Brook Farm has closed down for the season, but they put out a beautiful prospectus on the Stony Brook Farm, which is available to you. If you're interested, there are some 80-odd gardens that are out there right now. We've got some total of 144, so if you're interested in being involved in that or taking advantage of the garden, you can do that through the Recreation Department, through Denise, and that number for you there is 973-428-2465, 428-2465, and we'd love for you to join us out there on that. Morristown Airport tells us that now all runways are back in service, thank God. We've had very few complaints, but they did change the traffic patterns while they were working on 5 and 2-3. It's all been improved, and they're back into the regular circulation area, so we hope that the rest of the community is not going to be bothered by aircraft arriving in that area there. But that, Mr. Mayor, is what I have at this point, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great report. Okay. Mr. Kale.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start with the latest news with the Tuttle House. As you may recall in earlier meetings, I shared that the Tuttle House was donated to the Township by the Spada family. That, of course, has taken place, and our next step was to get a consultant involved to basically evaluate and give us an assessment of the property, to talk, basically give us a background on what we're going to need to do in the future to turn that into an eventual museum. So they gave us a draft report. It's a very, very detailed report, including the history of the home as well as its occupants, provided a thorough analysis of the structural integrity of the building, gave us a list of recommended repairs, both immediate and in the future, as well as provided a couple of concepts relating to the inside and the outside design that, for consideration to use when we're going to use this as a museum. So those concepts are in the hands of the Landmark Committee right now. We'll be waiting for them to give us their recommendations. As next steps, we'll be looking to basically seal up the house. There are a couple of areas that need immediate attention just to make sure that the house stays safe. So we're going to address that as well. That meeting with the consultant occurred on last Thursday. This Saturday, we also hosted a tour of the Tuttle House for the Landmark Commission, as well as a few members of the Township Committee. Very informational. We were able to see exactly what that report outlined, and it worked out very nice. We were also graced by the presence of the granddaughter of one of the Tuttle family that lived in that house. She was the granddaughter and visited that house frequently, so she was able to give us a lot of insight and kind of lay of the land of what the place looked like when the house was actually in use. So thank you to her as well. So moving on, the only other thing I have is this month starts the National Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. I talk about this every year. It's a serious matter, particularly around the holidays. People tend to drink a little bit more or drink a little more. Unfortunately, sometimes take chances they shouldn't. But as a matter of fact, in 2019, 1/3 of the fatalities in this nation involved drunk drivers. That equaled about over 10,000 deaths. So it's serious business. The program or the campaign statewide will begin December 15th, ending January 1st. And essentially what it means is police departments across the state, they'll be conducting saturation patrols as well as potential sobriety checkpoints while they're looking for motorists that may be driving while impaired. So Encourage you to use all the other options that are available to us now, as opposed to driving ourselves, and have a happy and safe holiday season. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Cahill, for an informative report. And clearly, availing yourself of the opportunity, if you cannot safely drive, please seek help from other people. And if you see somebody who cannot safely drive, please stop them from doing it, because the life they take may not be just their own, it may be other people. And this is the season of giving, and the best gift to give is the gift of safety to each other. So please heed his words appropriately. Deputy Mayor.
John, I got two quick ones. Jim Lent, I heard through the grapevine that you are going to retire. Well, I want to thank you for everything you've done for all of us for so many years. And I'll never forget, I think it was 2007, you heard that we were working at the school, and you called me and said, Gallagher, what are you guys doing over there? Since then, you've done so many front-page stories on One Day, One School, Beautification and Safety Initiative. It turned out to be an incredible program with a lot of push and a lot of good information shared by you. And if you remember, in about 2010, we unofficially called you the fifth Beatle, because with One Day, One School, you were always in the loop. We even had you to some planning meetings. So thank you very much for that, but thank you for everything else. You do a great job. I hope you have a long, healthy, happy retirement. So Jim, thank you, and God bless you.
Jim, is this your last meeting then? Or we have you for a little while over?
I'm going to come for the 20th, I think.
Good, good.
20th, Jim.
The 20th, yeah, I'll be there for that. And Brett was here, the guy who's replacing me, he gave me his card, so if he wanted to get his email address.
Good, thanks, Jim.
Okay, the other two items, I just want to say that there's too much to report, but all the groups in town hall that I work with have been very, very busy. I just want to thank everybody. We have one more meeting till the end of the year, and I'll have my typical thank yous then, but you can see some of the work that these guys have been doing. And I say when it's good, I run in front of the camera for Jim Lent. When it's bad, you're not going to see me around. I'll be hiding in the back somewhere. But thank you very much. And Joe Giorgio, you know you're always at the top of my thank yous when we get to the end of the year. The last thing is, on a personal note and a note for our families, Friday nights at Menon Arena is going to begin on January 14th. 10 consecutive Friday nights. We didn't have it last year. We plan on having an incredible run. The Sheriff's Department is going to be taking over the County Park Police as of January 1st. Sheriff Gannon already made it very clear that he wants to have more involvement, and we're actually doing our major press release with his badge with the emblem of the New Jersey Coalition. So it's an honor to work side by side with Sheriff Gannon, and there's nothing we do that we also don't share with Chief Locke and get Chief Locke right in the mix with the Sheriff's Department in our program. And the last point about this is if anybody has a small business or a business that can help our children, introduce our children to new healthy activities, please call, because this year more than ever, we're getting very good companies asking us how they can help. And we said what we simply want to do is not advertise for them, but introduce them to our children, to introduce our children to activities that they may not ordinarily be introduced to, such as martial arts, such as dancing, such as all the other great things we have going on in the Recreation Department in Hanover Township and every other town. So that does it, John. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, under the banner of great things happen in Hanover, very pleased to report that Hanover has received a very meaningful grant. We just were informed this week that we received a grant called the Community Solar Grant. And the Community Solar Grant, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that there is a facility in our town that's a storage, CubeSmart it's called. It's located on the shoulder of 287 in Route 10. And CubeSmart is going to house a solar panel system. And the solar panel system, the electricity that's generated by that facility will power CubeSmart and will also return energy to the grid. The energy that gets returned to the grid, there will be a benefit. And the benefit will be to those who are living in low and affordable income units within our municipality. So if somebody is living in a low or affordable income unit within the municipality, they will soon learn through our township website of information on how to apply. Apply for what? What they're going to apply for is the opportunity to get a discount on their municipal electric bill that will enable them to receive potential savings of 20 to 30% on the actual usage within their monthly bill from JCP&L. So it's a significant opportunity. It's good. Hanover was one of a handful of municipalities in the entire state of New Jersey who is the recipient of this grant. So it is a special one, and again, we thank our professionals for developing and supporting Hanover's people in a meaningful way. Okay? In addition to the great things happening in Hanover, I think it's important for us to take a brief minute and just reflect a little bit. We've been battling this COVID situation, and an unhappy anniversary will probably be coming up 2 years soon. But during that period of time, think about the following. Your municipal staff has been here every single day serving our residents. Your DPW department has been out there every single time when they were called upon. Your trash has not been interrupted at all during that time period. Those roads have been plowed. Our police department, the professionalism, the integrity, the dedication throughout the period of time, didn't skip a beat throughout that entire period of time, and should be acknowledged for the high level of professionalism which they conduct themselves in a very difficult position during a time such as COVID. So when you see them, all of these people, the PD, the DPW service people, the municipal staff, give them thanks, give them recognition, because they've gone beyond the call of duty. And lastly, this is something which every member of this township committee, I believe, recognizes the importance of it. It's education. The education, the development of our children. We want to thank the Hanover Township Board of Education because they provided our students with in-house learning throughout this period of time, as much as can be done. Is there a benefit to in-house learning? You betcha. It's significant. There's been studies that have done. There was just a study that was released this week in the Wall Street Journal, the results indicating that you cannot replace, in the development of the child, the in-house learning experience. Children who have not received in-house learning have, in that period of time, fallen back 6 to 9 months in terms of their education, in terms of keeping up. So a shout out to the school system for really rising to the occasion. So with that, I will thank all of you once again, and I would ask the Township Committee now for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, we're done. For this part of our meeting, we're going to go back to work and continue the remaining part of our meeting that was, we had stopped briefly.
James, how you doing?
Okay.
You're gonna leave us, huh?
I am, yeah.